My name is Menachem. I like doing stand-up comedy as a hobby because it's confidence building and it makes you feel good to make other people laugh, and it's like a good experience to go up on stage and share your thoughts and jokes with other people. The fact that seeing my dad do comedy was encouraging because he's the one that talked me into doing it. Otherwise, I would probably have been too nervous, and it's good to have some support. Because I don't know if I had been able to do it if I was just by myself without any backup or anything. So one thing when my dad does comedy, he incorporates a lot of impressions and like voices into it. So I mean, I also like doing voice impressions and stuff. So one of the impressions I do is the Buddha voice, which is it's also just because the idea is funny, and also because it's just really easy, because doing an Indian accent is just one of those accents that just isn't that hard, I guess. So I just like to do an impression of Buddha, like, "Hello, I'm the Buddha, thank you for coming. I was trying to get you, but I wasn't able to because, you know, I don't know. I feel like I like to be productive. Like I don't feel good about myself if I'm just being lazy and just lying around. So I like to try to accomplish things. Before I went, I was nervous before going on but one of the ways to overcome being nervous is to try and tell yourself that it doesn't really matter what people think. I feel like having Asperger's is like a part of my identity, but I feel like it's not good to let that define you, like that's all you are, because it's just one aspect of somebody's personality. It's not your whole self. There's more than that. It's just a way of looking at things. I feel like I still have social anxiety sometimes about dealing with other people, but it's not too bad. I mean, there's times when I want to be around other people, and there's times when I want to just be by myself. Sometimes I feel like sort of it's kind of hard to relate to other people sometimes. I feel like maybe I don't look at things the same way that they do. I mean, it's not true of everybody, just like certain people in general. Like I feel sort of alone sometimes, but it's not that bad. I feel like probably some people with Asperger's probably think that they have to change themselves, but I think you don't really have to refine the way you are. You don't really have to be a different person than the person that you are.
When Menachem was a baby, when he was first diagnosed, there was not an infrastructure in place with therapies and solutions and a lot of ideas. It had to come from, I think, within us. And in the community that we were in, there was a cultural kind of natural aversion to the public domain, public school, or public programs, those kinds of things. We always thought privately you can, obviously they're better funded, they're smaller, they're more attentive, and those things, those routes proved to be really fruitless. And if anything, I think held us back. And ultimately it was in the public system where different influences had been infused into the public system, which had to serve kids with Asperger's and autism. They didn't have a choice, so they needed to do something, and they had. And I think in a smaller cultural cocoon, you sometimes do more hoping and wishing than acting. When Menachem was little, there was just a sense of struggle all the time. We felt helpless, and he turned to me one time, we were walking to synagogue, and he sat down on the side of the street, and he looked up at me and he said, "I'm broken." And I knew what he felt. And the good part of that was, I think for the first time, maybe I could relate, because we also felt broken. We felt like, how do we fix this? After the diagnosis of Asperger's syndrome, it was the opposite, because now I just wanted people to know what it was and who Menachem was, and just go from there. When a kid has Asperger's and certain things are really difficult for them, you wonder, well, what can they do? What can he do? And by encouraging him, Menachem, to do all these things that he can do, you realize, and I saw this with my friends who had kids with autism, they'll push the envelope every day, just push the envelope every day, so that it becomes, what can't he do? What can't she do? Because now Menachem can go on stage. If he wants to go on the road as a comic now, he can do that. If he wants to write a book, he can do that. There's only two things that have to happen to make the impossible possible. You have to accept that someone loves you, and you have to love somebody else, and that has to be unconditional. There can't be any prerequisites for that. And it's harder than it sounds. It sounds like it'd be so easy. Every parent would love their child that way. Every child would feel loved that way. And they would find those relationships in their friends, because they would know what it means to be loved. But once that happens, then this floodgate of kind of positive input happens, and you start trying to help people do what they want to do. They start trying to help you, and everybody kind of makes it their mission to fulfill the love that they have for the other person, and that other person feels so safe that they can now love people back and help them.
So at 11 months, Maya received her provisional diagnosis, and I've met several families, dozens and dozens of families actually, and our case was pretty unique. We were actually relieved when we found out Maya had autism, because we thought, okay, this is something that we can do something about, and that we can, we can develop a program to help her deal with, the issues surrounding her diagnosis. When Maya became ill at a very young age, it was very traumatic for our family, because we weren't sure what was wrong with her. But her whole life, from her third day of life up until we saw the neurologist at 9 months, we knew something was wrong. It was very hard to know that something was wrong and not to be able to pinpoint exactly what was wrong with her. She had a lot of physical manifestations of her GI issues. She was in constant pain, and all we could do was try and alleviate the pain. It was very trying for the whole family, because she cried in pain. Her body hurt. If we hugged her, it hurt. It took a very huge emotional toll on our family. So Maya's 7 years old now, and she's this just very happy, beautiful, social little girl. She giggles, and she enjoys her life, and she enjoys people, and she enjoys new experiences. Sometimes it takes her a while to warm up, but she really enjoys them. Having a child with autism gives you an opportunity to become an expert. And the autism community needs more experts. They need as many experts as they can get right now. I urge all parents to really consider having their family be a part of research. We've had so many families ahead of us, years past, that have participated, but there are more kids that are getting diagnosed with autism as the years pass. And the more information we provide, the more we pool our resources together and our efforts, the faster we're going to find a cure, the faster we're going to be able to prevent, the faster we're going to be able to develop interventions. There's so much that we can do as a community. So being a part of the research community made us feel better as a family. It made us feel like we were giving something back. We have 2 neurotypical kids, and our whole family has participated in the study. We feel like if Maya's medical conditions, her autism, can help other kids that have similar issues in their lives. If her condition and our participation in research can help those people in the future, we definitely want to be a part of that. It made us feel like we were being proactive, like we were giving something back to the community that had given so much to our family.
Knowledge is power.
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 Knowledge is power.